Hi, my brave friends, and welcome to Let's Play Airis Part 3. I pulled up the main menu because I just noticed this thing right here where it is glowing, and I wanted to show you guys that because I thought it was so cool. Look at it. It's got lines and all kinds of cool stuff. Now, I do want to let you know this is the fourth time I've recorded this particular audio, so this is not a new segment to me, but we're going to go ahead and get started. Alright. Pained cries and dying howls echo through the air, muffled by the blood pounding in my ear. Darting forward, I cut down a wraith about to swipe at a fallen soldier, and he shoots me a grateful look before scrambling back to his feet. Panting from the exertion, I pause to brush the hair out of my eyes and grimace at the sticky blood I've accidentally smeared over my forehead. How long has it been? It feels like a decade has passed since the battle has begun. Aaliyah! I looked up to see Averia approaching with an exhausted smile, blood splattered all over her armor. Averia! Glad you're not hurt. Where's Lyall? Surprised they aren't with you. I can only shrug in response, turning to kick away a goblin that was trying to sneak up on me. In that case, watch my back and I'll watch yours? Of course. Throwing myself back into the midst of the fight with Averia by my side, my mind automatically voids itself of all thoughts but the battle. I go through the practiced motions of slashing and stabbing that almost feel like second nature to me by now, cutting down the enemies in front of me one by one. Eventually, the hordes of the creatures begin to decrease in number, growing thinner and thinner. Slowly but surely, we're driving them back away from the town border. A deafening cheer erupts from the soldiers when the remaining creatures, having sensed their impending loss, turn tail and run back to the forest. We did it! Averia throws down her sword, immediately collapsing to the ground, staring up at the sunset with a dazed smile. Stunned by the sudden end of the battle, it takes a minute for me to process the victory, and when I do, I sink to the ground with an exhausted sigh, letting my sword clatter next to me. We did it! We really did it! Too tired to speak, Averia can only give me a thumbs up in response, closing her eyes. Averia is so cute! The adrenaline slowly fades from my veins, and I'm suddenly aware of the throbbing pain in every part of my body and the blood gushing from my shoulder. Overwhelmed by the sudden fatigue and pain, I can only close my eyes, leaning my head against a nearby tree. I don't know how long we just remain there, trying to recover from the intense battle, but when I open my eyes again, there's a healer bent over me, a soft blue glow emitting from his hands as he tends to my wounds. Thank you. Here, drink this too. It'll help you recover some of your energy. He presses a bottle into my hand, and I take a greedy gulp, almost choking in my haste. Glug, glug, glug. You should rest for a while before moving. Let the magic heal your wounds fully first. Thanks. He nods in acknowledgement before moving on to Averia, repeating the same motions he just went through with me. Some of my energy returns to me. The fog begins to lift as some of the tongue-tied. As some of my energy returns to me, the fog begins to lift from my mind. This potion is pretty effective. I should tell Lyall to look into making some of these. Or maybe Kylan. He likes research. Lyall and Kylan. Did they make it to the battle? Are they hurt? Leaning my weight against my sword, I struggle to my feet and stumble towards the rest of the camp. Maybe I should go look for them. Right then, Averia lets out a pained cry, followed by a long torrent of furious words reprimanding the healer. My head jerks to Averia, concerned about her. Question. Kylan and Lyall are missing, while Averia is injured. What should I do now? Who should I check on first? Check for Lyall first? Look for Kylan first? Or check on Averia first? Now, as I reasoned out the first time I did this particular part of the Let's Play, Averia has healers taking care of her, so she'll be fine. Kylan we don't know very well, so he's not really he's not the one we're going after, so we're not going to worry about him too much. So we're going to go ahead and look for Lyall first. Kylan probably didn't come at all, his earlier frenzied searching through his scrolls merely a guise to provide a convenient excuse for him to avoid this battle. Averia should be in good hands with so many healers around to tend to the injured. Lyall, on the other hand. I sweep my gaze around the area, but there's no sign of Lyall at all. Lyall would definitely be on the front lines if they were part of this fight. Where could they have gone? Where could they be? Lyall will be fine, won't they? They're a powerful mage. I know they can more than take care of themselves. I'm sure Lyall would be fine without me by their side watching their back. Right? My stomach starts to churn in worry, and I stumble forward, hoping to go in search of Lyall to see for myself that Lyall is unhurt. Hey, you! What did I say about not moving? Your legs are wobbling. Sit back down before you fall and injure yourself further. I try to brush him off, but in my weakened state I am unable to extricate myself from his surprisingly strong grasp. Can't speak tonight, goodness gracious. No, I need to find someone. Whoever it is can't be in worse shape than you. You need to rest. I try to protest, but the healer holds his hand out towards me, mumbling a few words under his breath. Almost instantly, I can feel a wave of sleepiness overcome me. I can barely manage a few strings of curses in his direction, making him chuckle before I once again collapse to the ground. I imagine that this healer's chuckle sounds something like this. Darkness envelops me, and I have no choice but to succumb to it. I can only hope they are all right. I sink down onto my couch, nibbling my lip, and my palm flies to my forehead instinctively as I vainly attempt to ease an oncoming migraine. Finally home! Mother of precious bare souls, Aaliyah, I never thought you'd give up. Look outside the window. It's almost dawn, and I swear to the heavens that we left when the sky was red, too. Not only today, but also yesterday, and the day before that, and the day before that, and the... Yes, Teddy, I know. I'm so tired. Please tell me we're not going on some stupid wild goose chase ever again, especially not for someone as boring as Lyall. Come on, Teddy, I'm just worried. If they wanted you to worry about them, they'd have shown up by now, or at least left some sort of clue as to their whereabouts. Or, they could have gone the dramatic route and pretended to be bedridden or something. But they're not. But what if they can't? What if they're grievously injured? Then you'd have found their incapacitated body in the eternity you've been scouring the streets and dungeons for them. Or they'd have been found by another adventurer or vassal, and their body would have been given to the guild to either heal or bury and mourn. They're fine, Aaliyah. The monsters were driven out quickly enough they weren't able to, devour any corpses or anything. I nod reluctantly, but the knot of dread in me only grows. It's been days, almost weeks, since the incident, yet neither Lyall nor Kylan have reappeared. I'm not exactly distraught about Kylan's disappearance, although I do hope he's safe. We barely know each other, after all, and he has no reason to show up just to reassure me that he's all right. Lyall, though. Where are they? Not even any of the probably hundreds of guildmates I've asked have any idea where they are. Not that my guildie's awareness even matters. How could any of them know anything about them that I don't? For almost as long as I've been a vassal, Lyall and I have been inseparable, and we've hardly ever gone 2 days without being glued to each other's backs. That they'd go missing for a long period of time itself is unthinkable, and the fact that their disappearance came immediately after a serious attack. Can I be blamed for worrying so much? Trying to lighten the atmosphere, I give Teddy a little nudge on her shoulder before teasing her. I told you multiple times that you didn't need to tag along in my search, Teddy flushes as red as a beet, and I can't help but wonder, since when can bears even flush? How do they blush? Does it come through their fur? Do you end up seeing it as little sticker lines on their cheeks? Clearly, the game is not showing us this because otherwise we would see little sticker marks on the cheeks. It's better to be tired than bored doing nothing while cooped up inside this lame house. Anyway, Lyall is stupid. Stupid Lyall. They deserve to be bonked on the head a million times by yours truly for making everyone worry when they're not even in danger. Despite my fears, I manage a light smile. Everyone? Does that include does everyone include you? Everyone else. Duh. I'm an exception, as always. Is that so? Really, though, if you're tired, you don't need to keep tagging along. I don't want you dying from exhaustion for worries that are probably as silly as you say. Maybe, maybe not. That's for me to think about some more. Teddy glances up at me with a worried expression, reaching up with her paws to rub her snout. Are you really going to keep looking for them, though? This is getting ridiculous, Aaliyah. You're not going to find them. You don't even have anywhere else to look within a 50-mile radius of this city. Well, 50 miles is quite an exception. There's always more places to look in any case. Please, don't lie to someone who's been with you the whole time. You've looked at every nook and cranny of the tavern at least 20 times. Same for the guild hall, their home, different medics' homes. Okay, maybe you're right. But it doesn't feel right to just stand aside and do nothing while they're gone. Aaliyah, I think you should focus on quests or something for a little while. Make bank. Then you'll be able to hire people from 100 different towns to scrutinize places you don't even have access to, instead of looking in the same 5 places over and over again and hoping something will have magically changed. Money makes the world go round, not poorly aimed determination. This bear is wise. I really do think so. I thought so the first time I read through this, and now I really agree. I guess. Taking a slow, deep breath, I mull over Teddy's words. Is there really no point to looking any longer? Is Lyall even all right? Now, I trust that Lyall is safe. I have to keep looking for them, and yes, it's pointless to bother any longer. Now, we can either trust in Lyall or we can keep looking for them. I'm not going to say it's pointless because that indicates that we're giving up on Lyall, and they're the ones we're going after. So, let's trust that Lyall is safe. Lyall is strong. They must be safe. Well, I'd beg to differ, since it's never been hard for me to incapacitate them by smacking them on their legs a bunch of times. I snort. Because they let you. You're rebutting your own argument, though. Teddy coughs and averts her gaze. Precisely as I intended, which you'd know if you hadn't interrupted me. Although it's never been a challenge for me to defeat them, I have to agree that they're by no means a weakling. We must consider that I am a very strong, wise, talented at combat bear myself. So yes, I once again agree that they're probably just fine. There's an edge to her voice that lets me know that she's deliberately acting even more histrionically than usual in order to comfort me, and I softly scratch her ears. She growls at me, but makes only the minimum effort to move away. Well, now, I suppose it's time for us to go to bed. It's a bit late for you to be saying that, don't you think? Do you want to pull an all-nighter and look for Lyall some more, then? Teddy makes a show out of sinking into the couch, leaning her head back and making obnoxious snoring noises. I flick her on the forehead before pushing myself up to start heading into my room. Ooh. But my surroundings blur and fade, and I collapse right back down. As everything goes black, I think, well, I guess it can't be helped. I've been running on less than 3 hours of sleep for the past week or so. Slowly, I drift back into consciousness after the long-deserved period of rest. Before I even see my surroundings, however, I smell the distinct sense of liquor and beer mingling in the air, rather than the familiar linen sense of home. My eyes flutter open. The first thing I notice is that I'm in the tavern. Why? How? Since when? Then, as I turn my head from left to right, baffled by the change in surroundings, I see an all too familiar face, their brows furrowed in what I can only assume is worry. There they are! There's our bay! They came back! They came back! Look at those pretty eyes, and they're all worried about us. I almost want to say they look fearful, but fearful of what? Lyall? That's me. What's wrong, Aaliyah? You spaced out for a minute there. I I I nearly let an endless, incoherent torrent of words flood out of my lips. I only barely managed to rein myself in, taking deep breaths to calm myself down, temporarily leaving a million words unsaid. I shoot Lyall the most menacing glare I can muster. They lift up their arms, palms facing forward. Aaliyah, I don't remember coming here. Why am I here? When did I meet you? Another... It couldn't have been another blackout. Not again. I hate this. I hate not knowing where I've been, what I've done, who I've been talking to. Lyall's breath hitches, but they quickly shake their head and smile. They reach out beneath the table to take my hand and then squeeze it to reassure me. Not this time, Aaliyah. You don't have to worry. Their voice is even softer, milder than it usually is, and I exhale a breath I didn't know I'd been holding. What do you mean? You just woke up. You've been out the whole time, but that's because you fell asleep, not because you blacked out. What? How am I here then if I didn't black out? I'm not sure about the details, but someone found you after you'd fainted, and he brought you here himself. He then sent me a message through the guild to come fetch you. Bless his ever-loving heart, though. Why did he bring you to a tavern of all places? They sigh. Well, I'm sure it was the result of careful thought. It's not his fault he failed to consider the potential dangers of bringing an unconscious girl here. Relief almost floods me, and I almost chuckle at Lyall's characteristic remarks before I realize just how illogical their story is. No, that can't be right. If I fainted in my own home. What was some stranger doing there? And why didn't he just leave me there? I assume there's supposed to be dots here. Like dot, dot, dot. Dots. What? That's impossible. Are you sure? I wonder what to make out of the beat of silence that lingered before they spoke. Was it just a mark of shock at my reveal, or something else? Perhaps I'm just overthinking things. I am still tired. Of course I'm sure, Lyall. I think I remember exactly what I was doing when I fainted. Oh. A realization strikes me, and from the way Lyall's expression shifts, they're thinking the same thing. Do you think I did have a blackout after all, only to faint somewhere outside? Yes, I suppose that's likely. But it almost felt different this time, like I was collapsing because of sleep deprivation, rather than because of whatever it is that causes the blackouts. Maybe my fatigue clouded my senses is all. It's true that being tired can make fools out of the best of us, so I understand. Lyall hesitates before managing a small smile and teasing me as if to reassure me via distraction. Well, now that you're awake, how do you feel about buying a few drinks? You know the answer to that question as well as I do. I'd never turn down an opportunity to drink, because I'm an alcoholic. No, probably not. It felt polite to ask. The cheapest beer for the two of us? Or are you feeling fancy? Depends. Are we splitting the check or are you paying? Lyall scoffs at my words. Buy your own drink, you miser. I'm sure you have more money than I do, given that you take quests non-stop. Please, as if you don't accompany me exactly 99% of the time. That rate is oddly specific and yet depressingly incorrect. Depressingly? Why is that? Because it's completely off, and because I wish I got to accompany you that often. Then quit disappearing on me and appear at my every beck and call. It's easy. Huh. I'll try my best. Don't just try your best, Lyall. Succeeding is the important bit. Lyall feigns a huff and rolls their eyes. Anyway, I never said I wouldn't pay my share. It's just that if you were paying for me, I'd order something a little more expensive. Excuse me? Come on, I deserve it. My voice grows deeper, more serious without my intending it, and Lyall grows tense as I speak. You've been gone for so long, and I hadn't even known you were alive until mere moments ago. How could you disappear on me like that? Why did you never tell me you were okay? I gesture haphazardly towards them. You're clearly in tip-top shape, and it doesn't look like you were ever hurt enough to merit the complete and utter lack of contact. Aaliyah. I don't want you saying my name and then trailing off, never to speak again for the rest of the day. I want answers. I deserve answers. I feel embarrassed saying this, and I feel sad I even have to say this, but I thought we were closer than that. I don't know. I thought I'd have been one of the first people you contacted, to reassure, to give your whereabouts. I guess I was wrong. Aaliyah, I'm sorry. Again, I'd prefer an explanation to anything else you could come up with. You don't know how worried I was. No, but I can guess. I'd have been terrified if our roles had been reversed, I think. I really should give you an explanation, but what about we get drinks first? Is now really the best time for you to talk about getting alcohol? Lyall manages a weak, guilty grin. Times of misery are the best times for inebriation. If you disagree, you don't know what you're talking about. Come on, let's go to the counter. How do unlimited beer refills and a bloody dragon sound? On me, of course. Fine. But as soon as we get there, you're telling me exactly what you've been up to the past week and a half and why you've been unable to contact me. I'll try my best. I nod and we rush to the counter. We get the drinks almost immediately after we order them, and from the glint in the bartender's eyes, he's probably been eavesdropping on us back when we were still sitting down at the table. Then again, he's probably been eavesdropping on everyone. Not like he has much else to do when he's not serving drinks, and even when he does, I'm sure it's not hard for him to keep his ears open. Well? Lyall hesitates. They drain the whole contents of one jug, then gulp down another, and another, and another. They break into a hacking cough to disguise a belch. Seriously? Raising my brows, I swallow my own drink before reaching for a jug of beer myself. Maybe I needed the extra courage. Courage? What courage could you possibly need? I'm asking for the story of a week of adventures and danger, not your life secrets. It's all the same. What does that even mean? Well, the thing is, remember how I rushed away during the attack? How could I not? That was because of a long-term quest that I've been bound to for a while. It kind of has to do with protecting a bunch of people, but it's complicated. You have? How have I not known about this until now? I've sworn an oath to secrecy, so I can't say much about it. Well, if it wasn't one of those magical binding oaths, I swear I wouldn't have told anyone if you'd confided in me. It was, after a fashion. I am able to utter the relevant words, but nobody unrelated to the job will understand what I'm saying. Even if I told you about it, you'd think I were speaking about the weather or anything otherwise mundane. What? Really? I thought you had to be incredibly skilled at magic to cast a binding oath of secrecy in the first place, and I've never heard of a variation like the one you're describing. Yeah, well, say what you want about my boss, but he's incredibly connected and powerful. I frowned, wondering who their boss could be. I I don't regret taking on the quest. I think it's important, and I pride myself on it. But I can't deny that I'm not proud of some of the things I must do as a result of the oath I've sworn for it. I titter at the trouble they're beginning to have pronouncing all their words. Someone's getting drunk. I laugh some more at my own laugh, then realize I might not be too far behind. No matter. I request a shot of some expensive liquor and chug it down as soon as I receive it, listening to Lyall speak and continuously stutter more and more words all the while. In any case, since I had to go to my boss anyway to protect him from the monsters, I wanted to make some inquiries about the blackouts and the attacks and see if my boss knew anything about it. He wasn't completely sure about the causes behind anything, but there were a few potential solutions that he wanted to try out, using me as a guinea pig. I haven't been myself much until only yesterday. His methods and drugs were certainly potent, although not all successful. Besides, he wouldn't have liked my trying to contact anyone who wasn't involved, even if I had the mental capacity to do so. I think it's justified that I never contacted you during the last week or so, but I should have let you know the gist of what I was up to beforehand, so that you wouldn't have been caught off guard when I inevitably disappeared for a while. Truly, I'm sorry I didn't. Forgive me? I promise I won't worry you again. Remember, I'm paying for that overpriced vodka of yours. Yes, I noticed. If the extra incentive helps you let me off easy. His promise sounds like baby's babble, a pale imitation even of promise, and I grin. I don't know. I try to keep a straight face on to lecture him, but everything's hazy and pretty from drinking so much, and I failed miserably. What you're doing with the quest sounds dangerous and stupid. You should quit. I can't. I have too much at stake. Like what? Like, like my integrity, okay? My pride in life and everything in between. I shake my head and tut. You shouldn't worry so much about me. Huh? I heard that. R- really, Aaliyah? That is, I thought you could hear words spoken aloud, but I wasn't sure. Excuse you? I'm excused. But really, though, think about it. Think about what? What if the quest is dangerous? What if something bad happens to me? That's no big deal. No big deal at all. Death is almost a relief if you think about all the calamities the living must endure. I tilt my head and frown. Something about their words sounds so horribly wrong, although I can't pinpoint why. Because they are being emo as heck. That's why. But they are speaking with a laugh in their voice and a glint in their drunken, wavering eyes. Lyall is clearly kidding around, right? Now, we've got a choice. We can say, if you die, I'll kill you. Don't even joke about something like that, or you should at least die for a good reason. I'm going to go with, if you die, I'll kill you, because I think that fits our main character's personality pretty well. What kind of statement is that? You can't kill me, Aaliyah. Bless your soul. I'd already be dead if I die. Don't logic me. We're supposed to be drunk. Clearly, I am not drunk enough yet, because your words sound like nonsense to me. Shh. If it makes you feel better, your words have sounded like nonsense to me, too, since right about half an hour ago. Have we even been here for half an hour? Shh. The rest of the day passes by in a drunken blur. Okay, that's about half an hour in. So we're going to go ahead and save. And so what we've learned so far is that Lyall is in a really bad job. And they're very much depressed about it. And they can't really talk to anyone about it either, which is not a fun thing to have to go through. So next time we're going to see if we can't cheer Lyall up a little bit and figure out what's going on with these blackouts. Because, boy, howdy, do I want to know what's going on with those. So at this point, thank you very, very much for watching Airis' Let's Play Part 3. And I hope you lovely people have a lovely, lovely evening.